guys! So as you can probably tell, the lighting in here is a little better today. That's because I have the lamp set up, and also because there's still a bit of natural lighting outside, even though it's about 7 o'clock. Today was actually a really pretty day, blue skies, no clouds, really warm, and made me really happy, because today was also a very special day. It was the last day of school for me. High school, I mean. And that was very exciting. It's a big relief. And also, I'm very conflicted about it in a lot of ways, but I am done. I felt like I needed to, I don't know, throw a party, congratulate myself. I mean, I guess that's what graduation is. But on June the 4th, I will officially get my diploma, and I will be a high school graduate, for real. And then I have to go sail off into the sunset that is adulthood. And I'm a little freaked out by that, but we won't talk about that right now. Today, I figured, since I'm done with high school, that I would tell you a few experiences that I've had as a high schooler that have defined me in some sort of way, and not necessarily in a good way, in a more of a unintentionally a delinquent kind of way. So first, I'm going to actually go backwards. I will start off with a story from junior year, which was last year for me, and it has to do with dress code. I know that any of you probably watching know what dress code is and probably hate it, because I hate it in certain aspects. I mean, let's be honest, how sexual is a shoulder? Really? I don't understand it. I mean, nothing like that makes sense to me. But that's not what this conversation is about. This conversation is about short length. And, I mean, it's varied between the years that I've been in school. Like, before, your shorts had to come down to the tips of your fingers. But also, some people's arms are a lot longer than others, so they were getting varying things, and there were complaints, and blah, 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 this and that. And so then they were, like, measuring by some weird, it had to be mid-thigh, something or another. No one really knows what the actual set dress code for the shorts is, because it varies constantly, and everyone's confused. So last year, I had a pair of cute little gray shorts, and I decided I was going to wear them to school, even though I figured that they were kind of too short, but I was guessing maybe I could have slid by with them if no one was staring at me too hard. And the thing was, they weren't inappropriate, and I wanted to wear them, and I didn't really have anything else clean, so I was like, guess what, I'm wearing these, and I did. And I was walking down the hallway to math class when I saw at the end of the hallway there was a door with a teacher trying to get in from outside, and she had her arms full. And we'll call this teacher Mrs. B for the purpose of this video. But Mrs. B had her arms full of textbooks, and she was knocking on the door, and I was the only one in the hallway, so I was like, I'm going to be the good citizen and open the door, probably because also if I wouldn't have opened the door, she would have yelled at me when she actually got in and been like, yo, you saw me outside, why didn't you open the door, girl? Mrs. B's classroom is right next to my old math classroom where I was heading at the time. So I opened the door for her and held the door, and I was expecting kind of like a thank you, normally what you would get for opening the door for someone when they're stuck outside in the rain with their arms full. But no, Mrs. B turns to me slowly, looks me up and down, and then goes, your shorts are legal. Your shorts are illegal. Am I the... I couldn't process what she was saying because I thought she said inappropriate, but then I played it back and I was like, no, she said illegal. I know what she probably meant was inappropriate, but something about the phrase illegal just hit me in like kind of a weird way, and I almost started laughing, which would have been bad in general. But I was bewildered beyond belief because I never imagined anyone would call me out on my, shorts, let alone say they're illegal. So I literally said, okay. And then she said, you shouldn't wear those to school anymore. And she talked just like that. You shouldn't wear those to school anymore. And I said, alright. And then I had to rush off to class so I wouldn't literally burst into laughter in her face. Because, on a side note, how many of you guys have read the Harry Potter books and have seen Professor Umbridge? Okay. Well, I mean the Professor Umbridge in the book, at the top of the chapter, you know, you see the little drawings and pictures, the Professor Umbridge that looks like that lady they describe her as toad-like in the book, not the one from the movie, who's like much more like physically attractive than they describe her in the book. I'm talking the toad-like Umbridge. That is Mrs. B. That is Mrs. B to a T. And yes, that rhymed. But literally, she looked like Umbridge, and she talked like Umbridge, and then she told me my shorts were illegal, and I almost laughed in her face. That is delinquent story number 1, because we all know I'm trying to break dress code and start anarchy with my legs. The second story goes back a little bit further to freshman year. My friend and I were in band class, and we were both really hungry, so we decided we were going to go out to the snack machine through the Commons, which is our cafeteria, and go to the snack machine. Well, at the time, we weren't actually supposed to be out in the hallways because it was in the middle of class time, and we didn't have a pass, either of us, because we weren't very smart freshmen. And so we decided to go out to the snack machine. We put our money in, the snack's coming out, everything's looking great. We were about to head back to class when the snack gets stuck. Now, instead of leaving it or going to get somebody to help us out, my friend and I decided that the best option for us is to shake the machine, because we paid for our food and we want it and we need to get back to class, so shaking the machine is the best idea and nothing bad could possibly happen. Well, this is my life, and as you'll come to find out, bad things seem to randomly follow me around, actually searching me out a lot of the time. So we're in the process of shaking the machine violently, one of the new machines, actually, that shouldn't have been stuck anyways, but it was. We're in the process of shaking it violently when we hear a voice from behind us go, "Girls, excuse me, what are you doing?" My heart literally stopped. Because freshman me wasn't good at all with any kind of confrontation. Not that I'm good with confrontation now, but freshman me was terrified. Literally, a kid could have come up to me and been like, "Your shoe is untied," and I would have freaked out because I would have been like, where did this person come from? Why are they talking to me? Why were they paying enough attention to me to notice my shoe was untied? What is happening? So when this voice came out of nowhere, stern, and a man's voice, I literally, my heart stopped. I about died on the spot, and I turned around slowly, and there's our vice principal staring the two scrawny 14-year-olds shaking this huge new machine, looking like they're trying to steal, like, a huge ton of Rice Krispie treats. Which we weren't. We had paid for everything, but it looked very bad on our part, and I literally almost started crying. It was terrible. We were like, we have paid for this. We're not taking stuff out of here. But the thing stuck. It's a new machine though, so I don't know why it'd be stuck, but it's stuck. And I don't know what to say, but yeah. So we were just trying to get it out, and he cut us off, and he's like, aren't you supposed to be in class right now anyways? Whose class are you in? And we're like, band, which was kind of terrible anyways because our band teacher had already gotten in trouble for letting kids go without passes. But when there's over 100 of, like, these kids all running around, he can't keep track of all of us. I mean, if a couple little freshmen scurry off to go get snacks, he's not really going to notice, like, first thing. and we kind of were like banned so we could be off the hook, and the vice principal sort of rolled his eyes and he was like, don't let me see you girls doing this again. So that was terrifying. And those two moments have been some of my favorite moments that have defined me as apparently the delinquent that I am. And I think my vice principal always remembered that I was one of the ones that was shaking the machine. Because when he went on to become the principal, he just always looked at me like he didn't like me. For the rest of like this year, junior year and sophomore year, every time he saw me, he looked at me like he didn't like me. But my best friend went on to become student council president and was the junior class secretary last year, and he adores her. She could literally spit in his face, and he would probably thank her for it. But he hates me. I can see it in his eyes every single time the man looks at me. And he always remembered the incident I'm almost positive that went down at the snack machine when I was a freshman that just didn't know any better. So, if you guys like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. It would make my day even better, considering that I pretty much have just graduated high school. Actual graduation is on the 4th, a couple days to go. But I just wanted to say a big thank you to you guys, and I hope you enjoyed this. So I will see you next time. Bye!